What is going on, everybody, and welcome on in to the Garage Beers podcast, episode 289, here on this beautiful November, cold as hell Wednesday night in Northeast Ohio. We are really excited that you're here, and we have got a great show planned for you here on Garage Beers Live. A little bit later in the show, we're going to get into a little basketball, talk about the start for the Cleveland Cavaliers, talk about that wild West Coast trip that was the last few games for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and we will obviously talk about the Browns. We'll get there. We'll talk about the Browns. We got a quarterback who's as good as the number one pick in the draft. What a steal! Yes. What a steal!
Can't wait to talk about those stats. Yeah, great.
But we're going to kick things off in just a minute with an amazing special guest. We had him on about real close to this time last year, a little bit later, but just one of our favorites to talk Buckeyes. And so we're going to bring in a former Buckeye in just a little bit. Former Buckeye, musician, entrepreneur, motivator, kind of do everything guy, Mekka Don. Really, really excited to talk to him in just a little bit. Before we get going there, though, I want to remind you that we are brought to you live here on the Orange and Brown Report streaming network. The OBR is Cleveland's oldest and largest independent Browns coverage site. They've been doing it since '99, and they're still going strong. Some of the best Browns coverage you're going to get happens at the OBR, so get over to the OBR.com, hit subscribe, and while you're over there, just make sure you check out all the cool stuff they got going on. Whether you're watching us on YouTube, Twitch here, make sure you hit like, hit subscribe. And again, be a part of the OBR. And that means you get to hang out with us, which we're not going to talk Browns all the time. We're going to talk about all of our favorite sports. And that's the most fun about Garage Beers on the OBR. Also, get over to our socials at the Garage Beers on all the socials and make sure you hit follow over there to keep in touch with us throughout the course of the week and in between episodes. With you, as always, I'm your host, Michael Keefe. Over on the east side, my co-host, Chad Meyer. Chad, what's up out there tonight?
Nothing, man. It's actually less windy and a little warmer than it's been the last two Wednesdays.
Okay.
But unlike the Michigan Wolverines, I ain't no bitch. All right, I'm gonna stay outside as long as I can, even if it means in the. No, I won't be out here in the snow. No, I'm not gonna be out in the snow. But yeah, it's nice out here. Mike, had a bit of an awkward interaction today at Giant Eagle.
That's probably like a weekly occurrence for you.
No. I mean, well, the thing is, I had nothing to do with it.
Chad's always making the ladies at the cookie counter feel uncomfortable.
This time it was a worker making another worker feel uncomfortable.
Oh, that's
so weird. Like I'm standing there at the deli counter, right? Just waiting my turn, waiting to get helped. And it's just me, and then this other female worker comes out and clearly is just getting off of her shift, like whatever she's got to do. Right, whatever she's doing, and she's standing at the deli counter, like I don't know if she like wants to order something or she's doing whatever, but she's staring down at her phone. This we're gonna call him a nerdly looking fella comes up, and she's clearly not amused. But this guy, he comes up, puts his elbow up on top of the counter, and he goes, and I shit you not, he goes, well, look who got out of their hairnet.
Oh no!
And
did it work? Did she immediately say, "I love you"?
He turns to me, and he goes, "Sorry, sir. It's just a little Giant Eagle humor." And I go, "Oh, this is the look I got on my face." I went, "Oh, is that what that is?" Then I don't think she saw me standing there because she turned around, looked up from her phone, saw me, and then just immediately bolted. Like she got out of there. She's like, "I don't need my pound of turkey." Like,
sir, I am just here waiting for my salami. I don't know what you're talking about. I just need my groceries.
Yeah, please. I just need to go. I just need to move on. Okay. So
man,
yeah.
if I had a nickel for every time I got turned down when I said that line.
Yeah.
Look who just got out of their hairnet.
Yeah. You mean every single girl on campus doesn't wear a hairnet? It's weird.
Weird. Oh man. Listen, like I said, great show. Obviously, our buddy Joey not here tonight. He's actually here in Cleveland, catching up with some family and friends and stuff tonight. So, but again, that's not stopping us. We got an awesome episode here tonight, and we're glad you're here. Again, if you're here live with us tonight, the comments already going crazy. We know, people know, man. If you're a Buckeyes fan, you know. I'm gonna put it back on the screen. Chef Brian K., our buddy, said, we got a real lawyer coming on tonight. We got a Buckeye, a rapper, just an overall great guy. And he said, you better buckle up. You better buckle up. I don't know how better to intro it. We're going to kick things off, and we're going to bring him in just a second. But I was ready for this comment, Brian. I was ready for this comment. So we got to kick this off right. Before we bring in our buddy Mekka Don, we got to kick this off right. Oh, my God, I didn't play it.
Oh, you idiot.
Right.
Mekka Don, Buckeye Nation. It's time. Buckle up. We going for a ride. Knuckle up. It's time for a fight. Buckle up. This time it's mine. Buckle up. Oh, we outside. Going to the top. 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 Still dope.
Let's bring him in right now. It's our buddy Mekka
shit.
Don. Mekka Don, come on into the Garage Beers podcast. Welcome back, buddy.
What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
You hyped now, man? You just get you hyped?
Yeah, let's get it.
That
Hey,
is
what's
such-
it like being a first ballot Hall of Fame human? I just wondered.
Man, I don't know, but I'll take the compliment. I appreciate it.
That is a stadium banger. That's a
Yeah.
stadium banger.
Yeah, that was really, it's interesting how music comes along. It's funny. I was actually talking to my son about this earlier. He's 8, and he was kind of asking me just literally earlier today how I kind of construct songs. So I was just telling him, first I got to find the beat, right? And I'm not a producer, but I think I have a pretty good ear for music, and I've been fortunate to be blessed with some great producers that have just blessed me with great beats, and so it starts there. And once I get the energy from the beat, man, it just flows. And so I was that song didn't even take me that long to write because I was just so inspired by the beat.
I think we have one of your biggest fans. I think Chef Brian is one of your biggest fans. So not too bad for a 66-year-old rap fan. Let's go.
Shit.
Let's go, CBK.
That's CDK. I love it.
Hell yeah. By the way, we don't have we get a lot of awesome guests on the show. We get gold medal Olympians, we get Hall of Famers, we get big time athletes, we get media people and all that. I don't know if we've ever had somebody. You have your own Twitter fan page. There's a fan page for Mekka Don fans on Twitter.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm not even sure who actually started that page. It's on YouTube too. And so it's funny. Sometimes the one on YouTube has more views than my own stuff. I'm like, bro, So I thought that's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. They just retweet all my stuff, really, generally. So
Let's go.
Yeah.
I would bet $5 that Chef Brian K knows all the words to Rapper's Delight.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell
He was
yeah.
one of the OGs.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, Mekka Don, we're going to get into some Buckeye football. I want to talk a little bit about the upcoming end of the season. We're getting into, we're obviously talking playoffs now and all that stuff. We had a great time doing that with you last year. We're going to bring that up. But I got to ask you this before we start, because we always start with this, and I couldn't remember. Did you bring a beverage on with you to share with us here on
A
Garage?
little something going on in here.
Let's go.
Yeah, got a little something going on.
We're just going to call that Mekka Don's little something of the week.
Yeah, got a little something. Yeah,
I love that.
You produced your own cocktail.
there it is.
Let's go.
There it is.
That's how I feel. It's just get me going with the right beat, and then I'm good for the
That's
rest
it.
of time.
That's it.
All right. Well, let us do our Garage Beers of the week then real quick here. Mekka Don, Chad, what do you got? What are you drinking over there on the east side?
I picked up a Sam Adams fall variety pack, and this is the Sam Adams Harvest Hellas?
Yeah.
Hells?
Mm.
Yeah. Easy drinking, smooth lager. It's this is good tailgating beer. Like that's what this
Hey.
is. Like I could in the colder months tailgating, right?
I like
Like the Novembers into Decembers. Like this is you just grab 6 to 35 of these and you're good. Like depending on what you do.
I love it.
All right. The fall, the Hellas Lager there. I feel like I'm transitioned beautifully over into Christmas season, and so I just grabbed a pack of the Fatheads Holly Jolly.
Holly Jelly. Okay.
Fatheads Holly Jolly Christmas Ale. it's just your standard dark, delicious Christmas ale. And again, I think 6 to 35 is fine. I think 6 to 35 is fine here.
It's a good range. It's a real good range.
It's a good range. Anyways, those are our garage beers of the week. I think some of you guys were putting some drinks in the comments before. If I missed it, put them back in there. Let us know what you're drinking while you're watching. I don't know if I don't know who's in here. I don't know if we've got Bush Heavies going on over there from Drew. I don't know who's got going on, but if you're having some drinks with us, put it in the comments. We'll throw them up there. But now let's get into this conversation with the one and only Mekka Don. And you brought it up kind of, we said hi real quick before we started the show. But you brought it up. You had your documentary that I haven't seen. I'm going to go watch it now. If my face is going to be in it, I got to go watch. That's a brave thing of you to do, to put my face on anything. But the last time we talked to you, Mekka Don, I nicknamed you Mekadamus because we were getting ready for the college football playoffs, and you basically just straight predicted the entire playoffs. Like, you nailed every game, every matchup, all the way throughout the whole playoffs. You nailed it.
Yeah.
So that's a I like to think that we have a little bit of a part in some shining moments for you.
100%, man. People, when they point to the documentary, that's one of the things they talk about the most is that segment that's in there of us and me kind of just talking about how we were going to, beat Tennessee and then go play Texas and Oregon and Texas and then Notre Dame in the championship game. And I said we would win the championship game by 10 to 14 points or something like that. So we ended up winning by 11. So that was just like, I don't know. I wish I would have bet with myself. I'm not really a big better.
Yeah, me neither.
I probably would have made a ton of money if I was rolling that over. But yeah, that was just that was a cool moment. I think we watch a lot of football, and eventually you're going to get lucky, right, and picking things. But just the way things were going that year, it kind of seemed like, for me, it was pretty clear that I think that was the route. And it was amazing to see it actually happen. And then I got to go to actually the Texas game and got to go to the national championship game as well. So it was just nice. The whole thing was surreal. Honestly, I felt like I was living in a dream for like 4 straight weeks.
Now, how long did it take you to put together? Like what was the whole timeline of this project?
So we started the project in August of last year. So before the season started, I wrote the song. We released Buckle Up in July, and we realized pretty quickly that it was going to catch fire. I didn't know that it was going to be the run out song for the team when we released it, but it caught fire, man. And obviously we had merchandise with the school. We had a number of different other things that were happening with it. And before the season started, we realized this could be a big thing. And if we go on and win the national championship, it'd be amazing to have a lot of this documented. And even if we don't, it still would be a cool thing to document kind of the movement of Buckle Up and how it grew throughout the season and, permeated other areas of society as well, And so we started filming in August. And the amazing thing about it was 2 days before the season started, I had the first performance ever of the song Buckle Up. And Shelly Meyer was there. And Shelly Meyer, this is how the documentary starts. I'm going to spoil it a little bit for people who haven't seen it. Shelly was on the screen and she says, "Oh my gosh, I just got done watching Mekka Don perform his new hit, Buckle Up, and it's amazing. And trust me, I understand that a lot of expectations for this season, but that song is going to carry us all the way to the national title."
Let's go.
Let's go. I know. 2 days before
Let's go. Come on.
And so we were able to document the whole season, document kind of my experience a little bit at in the playoffs, and then we got some former players from 2014. We got Curtis Grant. He was talking about my song Juice, which was the national championship anthem for 2014.
Yes.
And we got Lathan Ransom and Denzel Burke and those guys to kind of talk about Buckle Up and some other stuff that happened throughout the season. So it was amazing. It came together really well, and we finished it probably in March or April and then released it in June.
Nice. Do people, it is a banger, man. Like, it makes me make that ugly face that people used to. I don't know if they still do it anymore, but right? Yeah. You get lucky, and people keep asking, like, "Are you going to do another one? Are you going to do another one?" And sometimes, as an artist or a creative, you got to know when to, let the last thing be the last thing. And so I'm not saying I'll never do anything ever again. Obviously, as a creative, you can never really say that, but
that was a real high note to go out on.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels like it hasn't even run its course yet. So
for sure.
So you went with the team. You went to the semifinal game against Texas. That was at Cowboy Stadium, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And then you went to the national championship against Notre Dame. So what's the most electric moment? I mean, I would imagine it's kind of hard to beat Jack Sawyer strip sack, returning it all the way for a touchdown to seal the game. That game, they were knocking on the door to tie the game.
They were, and that game was crazy because Texas fans, and I got some videos I posted. They were like all in my face during that game. It was fun though. It was fun banter. It wasn't like, I wasn't upset about it. And again, that being in Texas, like in their backyard, that was rough. I mean, the environment was rough. They were loud. They were raucous. They were ready. So that environment was insane. But the way that stadium erupted when Jack Sawyer made that play, I can't even put it into words, And the craziest thing is, we were like, as Buckeye fans, like there were like people, we were like had tears in our eyes because it was like such a magical moment, and we knew what exactly that meant, that we were going to the title, And it was just like the deflation that you could see, the contrast between the deflation you saw from all the Texas fans and then the exhilaration from all the Buckeye fans. I mean, we're all hugging each other. We don't even know each other. We're hugging each other, high fiving. It was amazing. But in the national championship game, 3rd and 13, I'm telling you, I mean, I don't think we ever thought we were going to lose that game.
No.
But still, when Will hit Jeremiah on that play, man, that place went nuts. I mean, so obviously those are two historical moments, but to actually be there and witness those, and I think I was either on the sideline or close to the sideline for the national championship game one. I mean, my goodness, it was nuts in there. So, man, it was just, those are moments I'll never forget. And I was fortunate enough to be able to bring my son to the national championship game with me. He's 8, and now he's like the Mr. Buckeye. Like 2 years ago, it wouldn't have mattered to him, but this was the year he became Mr. Buckeye, and so he got to experience that. And it's just one of those, everything about it just seems like magical, kind of a magical moment.
Well, that Texas, the Texas game had those two moments that are on par. I was thinking the Ezekiel Elliott run against Alabama that year.
Yep.
Like, Travion Henderson's that screen pass.
Yes.
Get out of here.
Oh my God.
For the half. Get out.
Yes.
And then Sawyer. But then there's just a part of me that loves I think my favorite moment of the whole playoffs last year. We're going to get into this year's team, but this is just too fun to talk about.
Yeah.
I think my favorite moment of the playoffs was right after Notre Dame's opening drive. Remember, they marched it down Ohio State's throat and they ran it the whole way.
Yep.
And Riley Leonard was awesome on that drive, and he scored that touchdown. And like, I'm listening to the announcers be like, "Oh, that's an omen for this game," and I was like, "It's a bad omen for Notre Dame," because I took one look at Riley Leonard's face, and he was like, "Oh shit, I can't do this again."
He got waxed that drive.
Yeah, I mean, he was awesome that first drive. But there was,
yeah.
That
was.
And then the way they just took control of that game, awesome.
Yeah, I think for people who didn't, like, my son was literally crying when they scored. So I had to like tell him, like, listen, it's okay. They're going to score, right? But so for people who don't really understand football that well or know kind of what to look for, and I'm not downing anybody, they may not have understood that what that just happened is not sustainable. And so I think that there were a lot of fans who were probably nervous, like, wow, they just marched down and scored on us very easily. For people who kind of understood and are watching and listening like you were, and paying attention, like that dude was getting rocked the whole time. He said it.
Yeah.
He said it later. And if that's your game plan against us, good luck. I know. So I mean, but the thing is in a one-game scenario, the reality is, anything can happen. What if we fumble the kickoff and then they return it for a touchdown? Now you're down 14-0. It's a whole different type of game. So anything can still happen. So there was still a little nerves there. I have to be honest, even myself, even though I didn't think that was a sustainable way to beat us, there was still nerves. But then when we went down and scored, I was like, it's a wrap.
Yeah. I think that's where I was at too. Like, I was like, okay, yeah. I mean, Riley did get hammered on that drive, but it's like, okay, we need to come out and respond, because if we don't, then it's going to be a little bit more interesting. But it was easy. It was easy.
Notre Dame fans there, most of them that I talked to, they didn't really think they were going to win. They didn't expect to win. Yeah. They hoped that they could, and they were happy to be there, and they were gracious, and it was cool. But I don't think they really expected to win. And then especially once we marched down and scored, I think they kind of knew. yeah, game over.
So let's dive into this year. Obviously, Ohio State comes out. They have the big win. I was at the game at against Texas. Big win to start the year. Listen, everybody likes to talk schedule, but Ohio State has wins over preseason number 1, preseason number 2 or 3 was Penn State. Obviously, who else? There was one other highly ranked team to start the year, and
Illinois. Yeah.
But like, the schedule goes differently than what it says. But the bottom line is Ohio State's just straight handling business, and that's a hard thing to do, man. You were a football player, and you did strap up for the Buckeyes a little bit, and when you come off of a situation like the Buckeyes did last year, where you win the ultimate prize, you win the national title, you erase a lot of doubt. I mean, what they did for their head coach last year and what he did for himself, unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's hard to maintain the level of focus and attention it takes to just do it again. And they have maintained the level of focus and attention, and they are doing it again. They come off of another easy win, basically, against Purdue. I know Purdue put up maybe a little bit more of a fight than people thought, but I also think Ohio State just kind of coasted in that game. Yeah. And they're on a crash course with Michigan in a couple weeks, and we're going to find ourselves right back in the same spot. It's been really impressive to watch them kind of keep the attention and the focus.
So I think one of the things that was I was paying attention to in the spring, I went to a couple of spring practices. I wanted to see kind of what the intensity was like at practice, the level of juice, and see kind of how they were going to kind of respond to being quote unquote champions. And early on, and you guys probably all heard this too, that they were saying, look, this team is not a championship team. Yeah, there might be a couple guys on this team that were on a championship team, but this particular team is not. And they really embraced it. And I talked to Sonny Styles during one of the spring practices, and I asked him straight up, like, yo, what is the energy like with this team? How is everybody acting? He said practice are juiced up. And in some ways I felt like, it was obviously you don't want to lose all these leaders and all these guys and stuff like that. But I think in some ways it actually contributed to what we're seeing now, because obviously you have a ton of talent that's chomping at the look at Arvell Reese. I mean, imagine you have a guy like Arvell Reese on your team that's probably going to end up being a top 5, top 10 pick and didn't even play last year, right? So you have guys that were chomping at the bit, guys that are obviously extremely talented, guys who have chips on their shoulder, and guys who want to prove themselves as well. Jermaine Matthews is another one, right? Jermaine played last year a little bit, but he's a guy, McLean, same thing. These are guys that have talent that just have been waiting to get on the field. Look what McDonald is. Look what our defense is doing. Caden Curry played a lot last year, but not as much as he's doing now. And so these are guys that are like have chips on their shoulder. So you combine that with obviously elite coaching, elite CEO. Ryan Day is an elite CEO, top 1%. He knows how to manage a team, manage a roster. He manages the portal extremely well. He knows how to build a team, and then he also knows how to coach individually and pull together coaches, obviously, that can make us elite. I thought the Matt Patricia signing was great right when it happened. I said it,
Yes.
People were like, I was like, yes, you got to think. Yes, he may not have been a great head coach, okay, but he's a Super Bowl.
He's been an elite defensive coordinator in whenever he's been in that role.
Anytime.
Yes. So what are we talking about?
That's
the role that he's coming in. So people couldn't see that, and I understand. Sometimes that's just how it is. His last,
I was yelling at Browns fans. I got Browns fans being mad that they brought in Matt Patricia, and they were like, "Oh, he's such a bad head coach." I'm like, "Are you not seeing what Jim Schwartz does in Cleveland? Exactly. He was a terrible head coach."
Yes,
but man, oh man, he knows how to coach defense.
He knows how to coach defense, and so that hire was amazing. I thought Hartline staying and getting his turn, I thought was the right thing. So that was the other thing. It was, even from that perspective, you have Patricia, chip on his shoulder. Ryan Day still has a chip on his shoulder, right? And he has an opportunity to really create a dynasty here at Ohio State right now. So I think he smells blood in the water. Then you have Brian Hartline, probably a little bit of chip on his shoulder too.
Oh, definitely.
Has a lot that he wants to be able to prove and show that he's not just a wide receivers coach, that he can actually take the next step. And then you have a whole talented roster. So that's just in a lot of ways, a great recipe for success. So I saw it in the spring, and I'm just happy to see how it's been playing out.
Well, Brian Hartline has called plays before. He was in an interim role before, and it did not go well. It did not go well.
100%.
So there is a chip there.
100%, 100%. And so that just one more point, and then sorry, you can jump back in. But I think what we're seeing is the culmination of excellent leadership, right, from the top. Then leaders who are back, like Jeremiah and Caleb. You have, the two best players probably in the country right there, and what that means. And those two guys are not just the two best players in the country, but probably the two hardest working players on the team. So that sets the tone. If Jeremiah's not playing around, you better not be playing around. If Caleb's not playing around, you better not be playing around. So they have leadership. They have the great combination of leadership, and then also young, very talented talent that's ready to go and has a chip on their shoulder. And the thing about college football, you look around the nation, it is very hard to go out and have dominant performances every single week. I don't care who you're playing. I don't care who you're playing. Like, you can have 12 MAC teams that you're playing against, and most teams are not going to be able to just dominate every team week in, week out. And really, it's not even just domination. It's also like control. It's like a video game almost. It's like we are controlling exactly how we want this game to go, the pace of play, when we want to score, when we don't want you to score. And it's amazing to see that level of focus and domination. So that's why when people talk about, oh, well, who have you played in your schedule? It's like, bro, get out of here with that. We've covered every spread, I think, except for one. Those spreads actually account, they're handicaps. They account for what they think the difference should be in teams. And we're crushing it every week. So that should tell you alone, this is something special that we're seeing.
The schedule thing grinds my gears every time it's brought up. Mm-hmm. You show me any Power 4 team, even the mighty SEC, right, and I'll show you the weak part of their schedule.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, Mekka, I've spent exactly 0 seconds this season worrying whether Ohio State's going to lose or not.
Yeah.
Like zero, like none.
Yeah.
Is this Ohio State team better than last year's team?
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy to answer that question now, because what we just saw from Ohio State's last year's team.
Yeah.
Beatdowns they put on perennial powerhouses. But from what I'm seeing now, the answer is yes. And it's weird to even say that, and it feels disrespectful. And I love all those guys. So
yeah, for sure.
But this defense is unlike anything that we've ever seen. First of all, you have pretty much 2 top 5 picks on one defense, right? And then you have other guys that are all NFL players. I mean, all these guys are NFL players. Sonny is probably going to go the first round. We probably have a couple, like 2 or 3 other guys that could probably go first round, and all the rest of them are going to get drafted. But so to have that type of defense and then have Matt Patricia drawing it up, it's a totally different style than what we saw from our boy. I can't believe Jim Knowles. I forgot his name. It's crazy. It's a totally different style from what we saw, and guys are able to play freer, and we're able to disguise coverages and blitzes. It's amazing just to watch. So from a defensive standpoint, and we had the number 1 defense in the country last year.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow. So you're comparing different types of diamonds, basically. And then offensively, Julian's saying to me, and I said this on Twitter and social media, people didn't really necessarily understand what I was saying, but Julian's saying is so unbelievably talented. Like, he's not a function of just having great receivers. Yes, that helps. But he's throwing dimes, and he is extremely efficient with the ball. He makes great decisions. From most of the time, he's completing over 80% of his passes. Yes, you're throwing the guys that can catch, but yeah, he's throwing the ball in spots that only they can get to.
Yeah.
Down the field.
They still got to get the ball from someone.
Get it from someone. And so I
do you know how good those guys look when somebody makes a catchable pass?
Right, exactly.
Oh.
And then also just, he was a 5-star guy. This isn't some random dude that's just rolling up out of here. This is a guy with Alabama, started at Alabama, with Saban for like a week or two. And then, here he is at Ohio State with Ryan Day. And I think that he may end up being the best quarterback that these guys end up playing with, because they're going to be top 10 picks. I didn't even mention Carnell Tate might be a top 10.
Yeah.
Right. So
they're 20.
They're going to be top 10. Jeremiah could be number 1 pick. They might go to a bad team. Who knows what quarterback situation they're going to have there. We see what happened with Terry McLaurin in the league and Garrett Wilson. And it sucks. Like, you can go to a situation and ask those guys, ask Garrett Wilson, who's the best quarterback he probably played with. He'd probably say Fields or Stroud in college, So that's the point that I was kind of trying to make. So we have a guy there that's a Heisman favorite, who's a redshirt freshman who can do way more than he's even being asked to do and hasn't had to do much more. And then we have 2 first-round receivers that are just insane. So yeah, I mean, my God, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I can get much better than this. So yeah, I think we might be better than last year's team.
Listen, a couple things. You brought up Jim Knowles. Do you think he's still real excited that he skipped the championship parade last year and then talked all the shit on his way out? I bet he's so excited now after the Ohio State's offense just drubbed Penn State's defense.
One thing I will say, this isn't truly in defense of him, but just when you think about the business side of sports, and it's one thing for us as fans, it's hard for us to kind of really internalize how that goes, right? Because at the end of the day, for us, we're looking at loyalty, like with Tony Alford and that type of thing, right? Like, how could you leave and go, and all these type of things. And I'm not saying there's something to be said for that, but at the end of the day, for a lot of these guys, this is just a job, And if, you're working at Google and Microsoft comes with an offer, or if you don't feel like Google's respecting the work that you did and Microsoft comes, then you're going to go to Microsoft. And we human beings, normal human beings, so to speak, we do make those type of decisions every day. So I don't truly begrudge him. And especially when you think about, like, we don't know all the backstory, right? We don't know all the tension that was happening throughout the year. I mean, we hear little murmurs and stuff, but we don't truly know. And we may never, ever know. But that all being said, it's got to feel pretty shitty to leave and that way. And then, you turn around and wow, the guy that replaced you, everyone's like, thank God. Like, that's, it's you don't want that either. So it's got to be pretty tough for Jimmy right now.
I mean,
and then go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, real quick, I was going to say, I think Patricia's the best thing that's happened to this defense in a long time.
100%.
And then I was piggybacking off Chad's question. There's the wind chimes chime over there on the east side of Cleveland. Piggybacking off of that, there's another discussion, and we've talked about these 2 players, but, coming into this year, a lot of the conversation was, well, yeah, listen, Ohio State lost a lot of players last year, and we're going to see, the dynamic running backs, the pass rushers, the guys that they lost were awesome, but they still are going to come in with the best player offensively in the nation, and we're still going to come in with the best player defensively in the nation. And I've heard this discussion happening a lot, and this is not meant to put either guy down.
Yeah.
It shows you the riches that are there, but man, I love Caleb Downs a lot. I love that guy a lot. Yeah. And I really think it's his work ethic and experience and mentality that really drives this team.
100%.
But is Arvell Reese giving him a run for his money for best defensive player on the team?
So
he might be.
I've said that too, and then I had to actually take a step back and I don't want to say check myself, but just evaluate it from a different perspective. I think Caleb Downs allows everybody on that defense to do what they do, right? In a different way. It's like knowing that you have somebody back there that's controlling that part of the field allows Patricia to make the calls that he's able to make and allows guys to be freer. And I think when I look at it that way, I'm like, no, Caleb is still that guy. He's incredibly smart. He's so aware of the game. He's just like, he's a savant. I think he's a football savant.
Yes.
And then he also has the physical talent, right? Arvell Reese, to me, I don't know if he's a savant yet. I'm not saying he is or he's not. He could be. But he is just an unbelievably talented, freakish athlete with great instincts and just unbelievable abilities that we've seen. But we've only seen it for 9 games, right? So I think that, but the productivity, the intensity, the way he's moving guys around, my God, it's like, what are we watching? I literally enjoy, like when the offense is on the field, I'm like, oh God, can you hurry up and score so I can go watch the defense? I want to watch Arvell. I want to watch him I can, because we're only going to get 1 season of this guy. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's going to be a top 5, top 10 pick. How could he not be in the conversation?
And to take it further, right? I mean, we talked about, everybody wants the flashy, like 65-0 victories, right? And those are awesome.
Yeah.
But it's just, they're doing it in such a different, simple way this year, right? But, and I want to like elaborate on what you said about Caleb letting everybody on that defense, let them play as free as they want to.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of goes with, is this team better than last year's team? Because if you put together Caleb Downs' highlight tape from last year as opposed to this year, that last year is going to look so much different than this year. Right. Like people can, can ask where Caleb is, where Caleb is this year.
Yeah.
He hasn't had to do much. Right. Yeah. But he's affecting the game in so many other different ways 100%. That, he doesn't have as many splash plays, as many splash tackles this year, but that's because he's affecting the game in other ways to where everybody else is showing up on film.
100%. One quick point too, just that you mentioned, you talk about our pace of play. It's deliberate. We're playing well. When you think about it, and this is why when I talk about Ryan Day being an excellent CEO, this is an example of what I'm talking about. You realize very quickly your sport has changed. It is not 12, 13 games anymore. It's potentially 16 games. That is a huge difference, particularly when you're dealing with college kids. You're dealing with, roster. It's not like you can sign free agents. You're dealing with roster management. You're dealing with injuries. You're dealing with fatigue, with young kids. So that automatically shows you, like, hold on. If you're smart, you can go out there and run up the score and play fast and just have your guys getting tired. But what makes more sense is to win convincingly, but then slow the game down. Get out of there with a win, get out of there healthy, and manage the whole season. Because the way Ohio State's built and been built for the last couple of decades, 12-team playoff, we're going to be in there pretty much every year.
Yeah.
So we now have to manage this entirely differently. Yes, the regular season still matters. Yes, we want the big wins. Yes, we want to beat our rival, of course. But there's another consideration here. And if you're not healthy going into the playoffs, it doesn't really matter what you did in the regular season. So I think it's brilliant how we're doing it. It's boring to some people. It looks like it's not a challenge because some of these teams, Washington is a good team. Illinois is a good team. Like, these are teams that can compete with. They will compete in bowl season with some other SEC teams or whatever. But we're making them look like they just shouldn't even be on the same field with us, right? So some people aren't able to comprehend how good this team actually is as a result of that.
I think so much of what you're saying too, like about Ryan Day, it's about all that stuff and being healthy and all that. But then on the back end of it, you got to recruit, and it's not traditional recruiting anymore. You got to show guys at other schools that are at other places right now that might be looking to get a different shot, like Caleb Downs,
right?
Who might be looking to hit that transfer portal. Like, I'm going to go there, and Coach Day is going to take care of me.
Yeah,
he's going to put me in position to succeed. He's not going to overwhelm me or overload me. He knows it's going to be a long season. Like, there's a lot of optics that go into it that are more. It's more than just who's playing and how long are they playing and what are they playing and all that.
Well, the other thing too on that is, and that's why I think part of the reason why you're seeing even a lot of younger guys playing a lot more too, because gone are the days where the 5-star, 4-star is going to come and sit on your bench for 3-4 years.
No,
and hope that their senior year that they get to play and go to the league. That's done. So if guys aren't playing, if they're not part of the game plan, or they don't feel like they're part of what's actually happening, you're running a very, very crazy risk of them just being gone at any point in time. We have 4-stars and 5-stars just sitting there, and if they're just sitting there, they're going to the portal, So he's done a lot better job than I think he has in the past of incorporating the young guys. We got running backs, we got wide receivers, young guys getting in. Aaron Scott made a great play. We got guys.
Yes.
So I think that's also part of this now too. It has changed. This thing has changed almost overnight in terms of how you have to manage this with the portal, with NIL, and then obviously with the college football playoff.
Chef Ryan K in the comments says, "I'd love to have Ryan Day as the Browns head coach, but he doesn't deserve that."
Nobody doesn't. Nobody doesn't.
Hell he doesn't. Don't you dare, Jimmy Haslam. Don't even call him. Don't even call him. Leave him alone.
I will slap the shit out of Jimmy Haslam if he tries to go after Ryan Day. I forget who it was, but man, I saw a funny clip when someone was talking about Ohio State. They said, Julian's saying, right? He throws it up. He throws it to the best receiver in the country. And when he's covered, he throws it to the second best receiver in the country. Yeah. And then they score a touchdown. And then they go tagging the defense and they say, you go play for a while.
Right. It's amazing. It is like, I still find a tremendous amount of enjoyment in it and how it's happening. I know that, if you're a casual fan and you're tuning in, you want to see some drama. That's why we're hearing all this stuff about Mendoza after the Penn State game. It's kind of like because it was drama, right? And I think at the end of the day, this is still entertainment, and people want to see drama. So I respect it. But at the same time, when you rewind the tape, you say, wait, hold on. You can't create the moment, that put yourself in a position to where you now have to go save your team and then get this, all of a sudden call it a Heisman moment. Like, no, that's not how it works. Yeah. Great win, great team win, great resilience, great for, if you're NFL team and you're looking for a guy who's tough, all that stuff. But as far as the Heisman is concerned, it's like, wait, hold on. You created that situation by throwing an interception and not playing well that game. And then all of a sudden you have a good drive and you're like, oh, that's my Heisman moment. Like, no, I don't think it works that way.
All right. Hey, listen, we've talked a little bit about Ryan Day. You have one other connection with Ryan Day, because if I'm not mistaken, you before you made your way to Ohio State, you played a little football in high school down there in the Columbus area, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And that's at that St. Francis de Sales team. There's a young man with the last name of Day that's quarterback in that St. Francis de Sales team. They got a hell of a matchup this week. I don't know if you're paying attention. Massillon, Washington, and St. Francis de Sales. That's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one for the Sales.
It is, and Stallion pride, baby. I'm gonna go Stallions, but that's gonna be a tough one. But I think it's it's just like anything else. Like when you're a competitor, that's what you want to do. You want to go play and win against those teams. We won the state championship my senior year in high school, and my junior year. Actually, I wasn't even on the team that year. But I remember these moments, like just. We want to go play the best. Whoever you guys say is the best, whoever you guys say is tough, we want to go do that. So it's amazing seeing what RJ Day is doing over there at my alma mater. And actually, the head coach, Ryan Wiggins, he was my wide receiver coach when I was in high school.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so he's still there. So I just talked to him yesterday or the day before. So rooting for them for sure, but it's going to be a tough one.
All right. I want to, fast forward a little bit here, because who gives a shit about UCLA and Rutgers? Those are two more wins.
Oh, come on. You got to win the games.
Well, yeah, of course you do. And it's going to happen. Let's go to the immediate monkey on Ryan Day's back.
Yeah.
Right. Couple weeks. We got Team Up North.
Yep.
Coming in a game that I've said repeatedly on this podcast that I until he does it, I just can't pick Ryan Day to win that football game. I don't care who's on his team.
Understood.
You can say, is this the year? I don't know what to think about that game, Mekka, because if order wasn't going to be restored last year when Team Up North had anything barely resembling a Division I quarterback, what's to make me think that they're going to do it this year? Like, it's mental at this point, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a huge mental component to it that we can't explain, right? And you might have to call in the top psychologist in the globe.
Chad's got him on speed dial.
Yeah, here, let's hold on.
That's what's going on there. But I will say this: two things. I think one, I think Ryan Day is different than he's been, and I think that last season changed him. And I think that he's a little looser. He has a little bit more I don't give a F type thing. And I think he's more, just more of a killer. And I also think that he really smells blood in the water overall in college football, including against that Team Up North, because he is really he is in a situation where he can put himself in the conversation to go down as one of the top greatest coaches ever in the sport. Like, that's really the type of program that he's running. If we run through and win this year, and then we're going to have Julian Sane and Jeremiah back next year. My goodness.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? So
you'll have another pretty good receiver coming in next year too.
Another pretty good one, right? Not to mention, not even just Chris Henry, not to mention Mylan Graham and Quincy Porter and these guys waiting in the wings. So I think that and then what Bo Jackson's going to be next year. My goodness. Okay. Sorry. So I think that there's that. I think that he's a different guy. And I think that I'm pretty convinced that the game plan is going to be different this year. I think that what we're actually seeing now is not what we're going to see in that game. I think we're going to be airing that bitch out left and right. Like,
come on.
Like, I think it's going to be.
Come on.
And it better be that, right? Because I think that's Michigan. They cannot keep up with us. And if we have that type of game plan, I don't see how they're going to score enough points to be able to compete. And I don't see how they're going to be able to stop that game plan. So I'm hopeful. I'm with you, Chad, in the way of like we got to see it, right? It doesn't matter because last year we were 23-point favorites.
Yeah.
And we lost, and we only scored 10 points. And that team is a team that had Jeremiah Smith and Quinshon Judkins and, Travion.
Buka.
Yeah.
And you tried to out Michigan last year.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
they're going to try to muck the game up, Michigan. They're going to try to slow it down. They're going to try to run the football, control the clock as they should. That's the only game. That's the only chance that they have of beating us. They have the only chance they can beat us is 14-10 type game. But if we air that joint out, which I think we will, it's curtains for Michigan this year, and I can't wait to put those boys to rest.
Let's go. I love that you said that because you immediately took me back to that game when Ohio State went to Notre Dame and beat them, and Ryan Day ran off the field basically talking shit to your boy Chad, to Lou Holtz.
Yeah,
he's not a good football team. It's not a tough football team. I tell you what, this is I can't see Ohio State just beating the University of Notre Dame.
Oh my God, classic! I didn't even know that was coming. That's amazing. I love it.
But like looking back, it's a little cringeworthy. Like we don't need to be smack talking Lou Holtz coming off the field. You just won a game. Talk about the game. I don't think that's the Ryan Day that exists anymore. I don't think Ryan Day's like worried about all that anymore. I think he's kind of like, all right, I see what this takes.
He got a big
now he knows.
He got a big monkey off his back, winning the national championship, and I think new perspective. Right? There is almost a 0% chance that he's going to go in with that type of game plan this year, and really that's it. If you really talk as you're watching the game, the entire commentary, the entire frustration was game plan. It wasn't, oh, guys aren't playing well, guys aren't trying hard. It was literally, what are we doing? What are we running? Why aren't we throwing the ball? Why aren't we getting the ball to our playmakers?
Yes.
I can't imagine that hasn't been so ingrained into his head. And Hartline too, who will be calling some, the plays. I just don't see it. So I can't wait. I just hope that there's no blizzard or no nonsense like that.
Oh, of course.
Other than that, I think we get it done this year.
I just had this funny picture in my head of Lou Holtz just talking shit back at him. Like,
Ryan Day wants to come find me. I can't even get off this chair right now. He knows where to find me if he wants to come. He's asking where I am. I'm just sitting right here. If he just wants to come over, I live at 24 Elm Street, South Bend, Indiana. Like, I don't know.
That's so funny. I love it.
Come on, let's throw hands, Ryan. I come in here and I will fuck you up, Ryan.
I don't know.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it.
That's our resident Lou Holtz. Hey, I love this too much. Mekka, before we let you out of here, I want to talk about a little bit about just kind of around college football for a minute. But I have to throw this out there because there were such strong feelings in our comments that this person actually attached real American dollar bills to this comment. And so I got to put it up here. Powers says, fire Kevin Stefanski, move Jim to head coach, and start Shedeur Sanders. Forget about this Ohio State talk. Let's get mad about Kevin Stefanski.
I'm on board, man. And I think it's so frustrating evaluating the Browns because there's so many moving parts, and every season it's something new, and it's obviously the Deshaun Watson thing was a huge setback. Who knows how things would have played out, if we didn't do that, or two, if he would have stayed healthy, right? There's who knows, but Kevin has been our coach for 6 years now. And the way that's an eternity,
Yeah.
Unless you guys are in lockstep, everybody's in lockstep with everything that's happening. You don't get to just say, oh, well, I know we only won 3 games this year, but I should still keep my job. Like it doesn't matter. Even if you're a good coach, this isn't really even about, for me, whether or not Kevin is a good coach. I think he's not coaching the Browns well right now, but part of it is personnel. Part of it is, all that other stuff. I think it's time for him to go. We need a new face. We need a new regime. We need new energy. I don't understand why they won't start Shedeur. Again, I think it's fine. I'm fine with even what they've done to this point. You played Dylan. You drafted him earlier. You thought that he could necessarily be a guy. You wanted to give him a fair chance to see what he looked like. We've done that now. There's nothing redeeming about Dylan Gabriel as a quarterback in the NFL. That doesn't mean that Shedeur is going to come in and light it up or be great. And he has bad situation too, but because organizationally we're bad. But what is it that you have to lose at this point? Why did you draft the guy? Why did you draft him then? Then release him. Then if you're not going to play him in this situation where it's clear this guy cannot get it done, it doesn't even make any sense. And you don't even have to be a Shedeur fan to think that, right? You don't even have to say, "Oh, I love Shedeur," to think that. It's like you got a guy that cannot clearly play at this level right now, and you have another guy, and you need to evaluate what it is that you have in that quarterback room before you go into the draft. This is just basic. This is like it could be Shedeur, it could be Johnny Joe. It doesn't matter who it is. And so it's just so frustrating to watch them because you can never predict what it is that they're going to do. And every time you think that they should do something, they do the opposite of what you think that they're going to do.
Yeah.
So
here's all I'm going to say, because I'm not on the switch QBs train yet.
Yeah.
Because if Shedeur was showing stuff, then they would do it.
I don't know if that's true, man. I don't know if that's true.
What team is out there sabotaging themselves?
I don't know. The Browns.
No, and we've been listening all year, Mekka. We've been listening all year to these people that are like, the Browns are intentionally sabotaging Shedeur. Why would you draft a dude and then be like, we're going to intentionally? I don't think he's ready. But here's the other thing. Dylan Gabriel said 5 starts. There's still 8 games left in this season. Mm-hmm. So I think there's also a plan of like, all right, let's let Dylan have half the rest of these games. Let's let Shedeur have half. Well, we're not at half yet. We're not at the half yet.
I think that's fine, but and that's fine. If that is the plan, that's fine. But they don't even act like Shedeur exists. And the other thing is, if you look around the league, you know, it's everybody's playing. Everybody's playing multiple quarterbacks. Like lots of guys are playing. You know, Rattler isn't playing anymore. They just put Shuck in New Orleans. You know, they brought Jackson Dart in. Like guys got to play. You got to play these guys to evaluate them. So again, if they have a plan, like you said, there are 8 games left. They say, look, we'll give Dylan a couple more and see how he progresses, and then we'll play Shedeur. Cool. But the problem, and I'm not saying that they're even necessarily self-sabotaging as much as it's incompetence to me. It's not. Yeah. It's not like
we lead the league in that, buddy.
Yeah, it may not be
for 26 years. We have
26 years of league incompetence.
Even drafting Dylan. Why did you draft Dylan? I don't even like that draft. No one liked that draft pick. He's not a top 100 player to me. And then you do that, and then you turn around and draft Shedeur 2 rounds later. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think the fans are going to be saying? What do you think people are going to want when they see Dylan struggle for 5 games? Right. So to me, it may not be sabotage, like you said, Mike. Maybe that's unfair, but it's just incompetence. And the other thing is, we actually got a chance to see Shedeur play 2 preseason games. One wasn't that good, but again, he was playing with guys that aren't even on the team anymore. And the first game, he played well. There was nothing that made us think he can't do at least what Dylan is out there doing. So I think you got to, if you either release him, it's too much noise around him, it's too much drama, it doesn't seem worth it for a 5th rounder that you're not going to play, or put him out there and see what he can do. And maybe you can even get an asset for him in a trade or something. But this is it's just I don't know what their plan is, and I don't think anyone really truly knows.
I just think it's interesting, right? Like, you know, for all the talk surrounding him and for how much everybody wants to play him and for how much he gets asked about, you hear he's been QB2 for what? 4 weeks now? 5 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
You hear absolutely nothing about him.
Yeah.
Nothing. Whether good or bad. Like whether he's good or bad in practice, you hear absolutely nothing about him. And that's you never hear that. Like that's something you never hear about.
Question for you, because I've heard a couple of people say that. Who do you think we should be or would be hearing from about him? Like other players, or you mean like the coaches or like media? Like who? Because the times when he was actually getting reps in camp and stuff like that, we were hearing a lot from media. Even players were coming out. You could see the relationship he was developing with players. But now I don't even know what reps he's getting. I don't know what's happening with him. I mean, and listen, you can't tell me that Tyler Shuck is good enough to start in the NFL this year.
He's not.
But Shedeur can't play. He so a guy who's played quarterback his whole life, who has the pedigree that he came from, who is the most passing yards in Colorado history. You can't tell me it's because he takes too many sacks, so now he just can't play. That I'm not buying that. Like I can't buy that at this stage with the Browns. With other organizations, maybe if he was playing behind Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or somebody else, fine. But in this situation, it's not adding up to me how they're handling it. And the fact someone even said that Stefanski won't even say his name in interviews. I don't know, and I don't know how true that is, but it's just like, what are you have to address it. And that's why when I go back to Ryan Day, I'm sorry, you guys got me riled up.
No, Gabe, keep going, man.
When you guys go back to Ryan Day and you talk about kind of CEO and management, that this job of coaching, head coaching, running the organization, it's not just everything that happens on the field. It's also managing the fans. It's managing the media. It's managing expectations. It's catering to all those things, but it's a balancing act, right? And I just not seeing anything from the Browns that's telling me that they give a shit about the fans, that they care about winning. We're not even sure. Are you tanking? What are you doing exactly? We don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating to watch. This is the first year that I can say in my life that I've been a Browns fan and I don't even really want to watch.
Oh, no.
I don't want to watch. I've watched through multiple miserable seasons and still found a way to find something interesting. Now, I can't even do it. In fact, I'm like, I've missed more Browns games and I watch highlights here and there more than I've ever had before. And it's because I don't know what they're doing. I don't know.
And Mekka, that's like the $1 million question.
Yeah.
Right. Like what you just mentioned. That's the $1 million question is you don't hear anything from players, coaches, or media. You hear it's crickets when it comes to Shedeur. And that's just it's so odd. I have no idea why.
And you know what? But you also don't hear anything about Dylan. You're not hearing like, oh yeah, Dylan was lighting up in practice. Dylan, you're not hearing anything. It's just we have to wait till Sunday, and then we go and see. Okay, right away. And then even Stefanski's answer: no coach in the NFL is doing this when their quarterback isn't playing well. None. Nobody says right away. Yeah, that's unless it's Mahomes. This is still our quarterback. Justin Fields, who has a $40 million contract. They're not committing to him. The Spencer Rattler, they're not committing to him. I could probably name 4 or 5 other quarterbacks around the league that are dealing with the same thing. You don't just get to say, okay, we're sticking with no. You say, look, we're going to go back. We're going to evaluate everything. The game is fresh. It's just over. We're going to go back. We're going to evaluate everything. We'll see. Right now, we're confident that Dylan could be something, whatever. But you just say, no, we're going to stick with Dylan. It's like, what? How can you sell that to the fans when we just watched? We have eyes. We watched this guy couldn't even make 2-yard throws down the field. That doesn't happen in the NFL. It doesn't. And you don't get to keep your job long enough for that to happen consistently. So there better be a plan for Shedeur to be played this year because there's nothing I expect to see from Dylan that's going to change our mind about whether he's ready. And if they don't do that, then I don't know. I don't even know if they want to keep us as fans. I don't know what they're doing.
I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute because I don't think they have their franchise quarterback on this roster. I think they think Dylan Gabriel is suited to be a backup quarterback in the NFL. I think that's what it is. And I think we are going to see Shedeur, but I think there's something to be said. I think there's something to be said for I want to see Shedeur Sanders. I was excited when they drafted him. Mm-hmm. I think he has the physical tools to make it.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something to be said for a kid that's never had a playbook in his life. I think there's something to be said for a kid that knows the system that his dad has run with him his entire college career, coming in and trying to learn something new. It's an adjustment. It is a major adjustment. And I think it's fair to say, like, he wasn't ready. I think it's fair. I think it's fair.
And I hear that. But I do think it's ridiculous because if you watched him, first of all, Deion wasn't the offensive coordinator, right, at Colorado, right? He was the head coach, but he wasn't the offensive coordinator. He was running an offense. Just go watch the offenses that he ran, right? Like there's and the thing, and again, coaching CEO, right? You have just like what Jim Harbaugh did with what Jim Harbaugh did with Lamar Jackson, right? Part of this is and this is the same thing you're seeing with Sam Darnold, the same thing you're seeing with Baker. Look, all these guys can play. They can all play for the most part, especially the guys that are all projected to be first round and top round guys. They can almost all play. So now it's okay. Well, what is it that he does well? Okay, so maybe let's just say I give you everything that you said. He didn't understand the playbook. He's never run this type of offense. He's struggling. So you mean to tell me that there's nothing that he does well enough to run an offense better than what we're seeing Dillon Gabriel do? I doubt that that's true. If he does have the tools, then now it becomes incumbent on you as the coach, as the CEO, as the manager of this organization, this franchise, to put him in the best position to succeed. And we see that all over the league and other situations. We see it at different positions. Like there's some running backs that are very talented. And okay, we're not going to see them in certain plays because they don't know how to, they're not good at pass protection, whatever it is. But you can't, I'm unconvinced. And we actually got to watch him operate the offense in a preseason game. We saw it with our own eyes.
Well, we saw it twice.
We saw it twice. And the second time, nobody even played that game. So I'm not saying that he didn't play well, but the first time we saw it, he was out there dealing. So you mean to tell me that you can't bottle that up anywhere? You can't, there's nothing you can figure out from that to create an offense, even simplify it. They do this across the league all the time. Simplify the offense then. If you don't think, again, this is just assuming what you're saying is true, which I'm not agreeing that it is, but if it is, simplify the offense and make a playbook that he can digest. He's not an idiot, right? He ran an offense, threw for 4,000 yards in Colorado. Like, what are we talking about?
Okay, so Mekka, I'm gonna play devil's advocate one more time because again, I want to make this clear. I want to see Shedeur Sanders.
Sure, yeah.
Because I'm excited for him, and I think he can play. I think his weaknesses are NFL killers, though. That's the issue for me with Shedeur Sanders. I think his strengths are strengths, but I think his weaknesses in the NFL end his career. Like that, they got to make sure he is ready because some of that stuff of running backwards and taking 20-yard sacks and stuff he was getting away with in college, he is not going to get away with in the NFL. And that's been a problem for him his whole career, even going back to Jackson and all that. But I want to throw one more curveball at you because this is something Chad alluded to earlier. And then I do want to go back to college football. Mekka, if let's say the Tennessee Titans took a swing on Shedeur in the 5th round, Cam Ward is putting up pretty similar stats to Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah. So I don't even know what we're arguing about. Everything
you just said. Would you be sitting here saying, well, the Titans should bench Cam Ward and put Shedeur Sanders in the game?
No. And the reason is because they didn't draft Dillon Gabriel to be their franchise quarterback. So when you draft somebody to be your franchise quarterback, you actually have to that is when you have to give them time to develop. And that's the kind of the point that I'm making. To be ready, what does that even mean? Nobody even knows what that means until we see you play. You have to play. You can be ready and you can study and you can do all the things you want to do. You know how it is. It's the same thing in every aspect of life. Until you actually go out there and do it, who knows if you're ready or not? None of these guys are ready, right? Cam's not ready. Jackson Dart is doing okay, but he's not ready because he's still not playing smart football. And
do not say the name Shook again. Don't say that name again on this.
I don't even know how to pronounce his name. He's not ready. But again, this is what happens when you're a quarterback. This is how guys get ready. Look at Peyton Manning's first year, right? Peyton, the guys aren't ready, but you have to play, and we have to be able to see it. So yes, Cam Ward was drafted. He was #1 overall pick, drafted to be your franchise guy. You made an investment, not even just in theory. You actually made an investment all the way around that we were going to do everything that we can for at least probably a couple years to support this guy to build a franchise around him. And at some point, they may have to make a decision next year, a year after that, like people had to do with Trey Lance and 49ers. Like this, it didn't work out in a different direction, right? So that could happen. But no, he has a long leash. But a 3rd round guy, who you want to talk about NFL killers, things that are killers in NFL, the guy can't see. The guy can't see over the line. It's
a problem. The Mr. Magooism is a problem.
You talk about his NFL killers. He's got a bunch of them that we're watching in real time. So again, if Dillon was out there and it was like he's just making rookie mistakes, playing pretty well, like Jackson Dart, playing well, but he's making rookie mistakes, you can see the promise. This is a totally different conversation.
Yes. Yeah.
But he's not. There's nothing that we're seeing, if we're being honest. And again, I'm as much as I want Shedeur to play, I'm okay with the process up to this point. You drafted him first, whether I think you should or shouldn't have, you did. You kind of was your guy. You wanted to give him a chance. I think that's great. But what what are we trying to accomplish with Dylan right now? And so that brings me to the point. Maybe we're just tanking. Maybe we just know we're not going to win any games no matter who we have in here. And there's a lot of other issues beyond just the quarterback. I don't think Shedeur is going to come in and save the franchise, by the way. But I do think that when you have quarterbacks like that who are highly touted and guys that come from the pedigree that they come from, and you drafted them, and you have a guy in front of them who's just a bomb, let's see it. Let's see it. I don't see the harm in it. So maybe, like you said, Mike, a couple games from now, they're like, let's split the difference. Okay, fine.
I think that's the case.
Shedeur this year, and the Browns are going to have to own up to it. Here's the other thing too: if Shedeur comes in and balls out or plays pretty well, now that's a whole other problem for Kevin and the franchise. They're going to
it's great.
Yeah, I think it's great for the Browns, but I think for egos, for the media, all that type of stuff, that maybe they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with the fact that, first of all, we wasted a pick on Dylan, which I thought at the time. And then now the fact that he probably shouldn't even have been playing in front of Shedeur. That's what people will be saying if Shedeur comes in and plays, and that becomes a whole circus. So I think that in some ways, they're trying to avoid that happening, because once that glue or toothpaste comes out of the tube, my God, it's not going back in there.
I want to get to a couple things. Brian in the comments, after all the talk all summer and fall, tonight in one single show, I'm hearing the most rational, intelligent Shedeur take since April. Bravo, gentlemen. So shout out to you too, Chad. Shout out to you too, Chad, but mostly Mecca.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, listen, Chad and I had a conversation. So Chad and I broadcast high school football games up here in the Cleveland area, and we had a playoff game last week, and we have our annual tradition where we just walk around the track and we talk.
Take in the atmosphere.
Take it in, talk life. And Chad said this to me, and this is all I can think of. So this is my hope for the end of this year, because I'm not convinced on any of these quarterbacks in this draft. I'm not convinced on a single one of them. And Chad said something to me, and I went, oh, my God, I think we just fixed the Browns. Whether it's Shedeur Sanders, maybe Shedeur comes in and looks like a guy that could play quarterback in the NFL.
Which, by the way, if he is, that means Jerry Jeudy's actually catching the football, which is kind of cool.
No. It'll just mean the ball looks better going off of his fingers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how that's going to go. But if you're not convinced, if you're not sold on one of these quarterbacks, I don't want him to just take one at the top of the first round to take one. That's why you're in this position to start. I'm sitting here going, you got to work on your offensive line. They're going to have, everybody doesn't think they have cap space. They do. They will have some cap space. And you have the worst wide receiver room in football. And I'm sitting here going, well, I'm a Cavs fan. Jalen Tyson's brother, Jordan Tyson, is probably the second best wide receiver in football this year. Really, that dude is carrying the Arizona State offense. And then I'm looking at Carnell Tate, and I'm sitting here going, the Browns have two probably top 15 picks.
Yeah.
So let's roll Shedeur out there next year with Jordan Tyson and Carnell Tate and Jerry Jeudy, and maybe Isaiah Bond finds a little space, and Quinshon Judkins in the backfield, and Harold Fannin and David Njoku at tight end.
That's how you get us. Now we're back. Now you get us excited again. Now
there's weapons.
Now we're buying Super Bowl tickets. Now we're buying Super Bowl tickets. Like, that's who we are as Browns fans. That's what we need. We have
Jerry Jeudy will actually catch the ball as wide receiver 3. He will.
Yeah.
He will.
Throw that man in the slot and let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and it's funny you say that, because when draft season rolls around, we're all going to be excited again, because this is who we are as Browns fans. We deal with this every single year, and that's part of the reason why I want Shedeur to get a real shot, because first of all, let me say this: I truly believe that Shedeur could be a franchise quarterback in the NFL based on my own personal evaluation. Now, I think that the other thing that we've noted, that we've seen, if you watch the NFL long enough, you can see the NFL can actually ruin quarterbacks as well, right? Guys that you're told can't play, and all of a sudden they go somewhere else and they're flourishing. We've seen a number of those. I just mentioned a couple of them in Darnold and Baker, right? And even guys like Jacoby Brissett, you just put them in the right environment with the right coach that believes in them, and the right system that's it, and you all of a sudden see these guys flourish. So I don't think that the Browns are set up right now for any quarterback to come in and be successful, particularly because there's just a lot of dysfunction. So I'm not expecting a lot of things from Shedeur. But I do think, even if from the backup standpoint, right? What do we do next year, right? Who's our number 2? Even if you draft, Mendoza or whatever, or Ty Simpson, whoever, even if you draft one of those guys, who is the guy that you expect to be behind him? We need to see that, and we got to see it on the field. It's not enough. It's not enough to hear about it in camp and off season and stuff like that. We got to see it on the field. So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I'm not necessarily thinking that Shedeur is, I'm not like, oh my God, Shedeur is God. He is the savior of the Browns. But I do think that from what I have seen, he does have enough talent to where we should let us see it. Let us see it. Why are you hiding this kid? You're hiding him. You've been hiding him since preseason. You weren't giving him reps. You didn't want him to, and I understand he wasn't high on your totem pole. Fine. We had 17 quarterbacks when the season started. So I get it. But we gotta see it, man. And we could talk about this all day, but we just gotta see it.
Mecca, we were over here talking about the Buckeyes, and it was nice, and they win on Saturday.
I was happy 25 minutes ago. I was like 20 minutes ago. I was just smiling.
And then this is the Browns. Not only do they bring us extreme pain and discomfort on Sundays, but then they just have this way of just hijacking everything. And they've hijacked us. So listen.
The Cleveland Thieves of Joy. The Cleveland Thieves of Joy.
We're leaving the Browns alone for a minute, and I did not know we were keeping you this long, so thank you for being the coolest ever. But I want to go back to this because you were Mekka Don last year, and we don't know what the college football playoff is going to look like.
Sure.
But we do have the second iteration of the college football rankings, and so we have the second iteration of what the college football playoff bracket would look like if the season ended today. So I'm going to put it right here. And if you're listening to us, I'm going to read through it real quick. Your top 4 seeds: Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, Texas A&M 3, Alabama 4. Those are the teams with byes. On the Ohio State side, they would play the winner of Notre Dame and Oregon, a game that would happen in Oregon, in Eugene. On the Indiana side, they would play the winner of Ole Miss and Texas, a game that would happen at Ole Miss. Texas A&M would play the winner of Texas Tech and Miami, a game that would happen in Lubbock. And Alabama would play the winner of Georgia and USF. That game would happen in Georgia. So as you kind of look at the bracket, as you kind of look at how the playoff rankings have gone down, I think this bracket is wildly inaccurate. By the way, this is not what it's going to look like.
No, for sure.
Miami has virtually no chance of making the college football playoff.
Yep.
But as you look at it as it stands, how are we feeling here?
So I think our first draw is actually a tough draw. Ohio State's draw. So I think Georgia wins that game. Alabama, just based on this bracket, Alabama plays Georgia. I think Notre Dame beats Oregon, and Ohio State. So obviously, and then A&M. I think if this is it, I think Texas Tech wins that game. Texas Tech is actually an interesting team.
Legit.
No, what?
Yeah, they're legit, bro. A lot of people, because they've been out of the limelight for a while, and people probably don't watch their games a lot. I don't think a lot of people know them, but they got a legit defense.
Yes, they do.
And they can score, right? So
A&M will house them by 3 touchdowns.
As long as Baron Morton stays healthy, they give themselves a chance.
That's a 3 touchdown Texas A&M win, by the way, if Texas Tech gets past Miami.
Oh, you think Texas A&M is going to smoke Texas Tech?
Oh,
he's biased, Mecca.
Oh, okay, got it. All right. Yeah. So and then I think Texas actually probably beats Ole Miss, which is interesting. I think Texas is kind of coming on a little bit at the right time.
I feel like they're getting it together. Yeah,
I think so. And that's the thing. So allow me for a second. We talk about strength of schedule and stuff like that too. One of the things that people have to remember is the reason why. First of all, preseason rankings we know they're whatever, but
stupid.
There are reasons why people have those rankings, and a lot of them it comes down to program history, coach, talent on the team, literally like recruiting rankings. There's a reason why they're putting these things together, right? And almost all of these teams have a incredibly immense amounts of talent, right? So that's why Penn State got ranked as highly as they did, even though I never believed Penn State would beat Ohio State.
No.
I understood the ranking, right? They had all these guys come back. They were trying to do the same thing that we did last year, and it just didn't work out. But talent-wise, you're going to see a bunch of those guys play on Sunday, right? And so one of the things that I think people don't respect, and this is why I keep talking about kind of the CEO thing, right, is what it takes to actually take talent and manage that talent in a way that you're getting the proper output is what separates the good from the greats, you know, the greats from the elites, right? Take Ryan Day and put him on and just switch the whole staff from Ohio State and Penn State. Is Ryan Day 3-6 right now or whatever Penn State is? There's no way. There's no way. It's
No.
0%.
No. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what I say that to say that shouldn't take away from the talent that's on Penn State, right? And how hard it is to even win some of those games sometimes. You got dogs out there. But what separates a lot of these guys is coaching, cohesion, managing the locker room, managing attitudes, managing personalities, all that type of stuff. So long way of saying, when I look at Texas, I think they struggled at different times throughout the season. But the reason why they're ranked so number one in the country is because they got dudes on that team.
Yeah.
Like, let's not be silly. They got dudes on that team. And eventually, sometimes it takes teams longer, a little bit longer, or more ups and downs, more, kind of things happening throughout the season to kind of figure it out. And I think Texas is one of those teams that you're starting to see like, okay, they're starting to figure it out. They're starting to figure out where their strengths are, where the weaknesses are, and they're starting to put it together. That was my just rant on kind of Texas a little bit, but also just the state of college football and rankings. Notre Dame is also one of those teams. I mean, they had 2 tough games to begin the season. I think they're well coached, extremely well coached. I think Carr is a good quarterback. Jeremiah Love, to me, is the best running back in the country.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, they have just a lot of energy and juice, and they play hard. They're another team that I think can be really dangerous in the playoffs. And then Alabama, Georgia, I mean, they just, it's kind of like Ohio State. It's just like they're always kind of going to be – they're going to be there. Yeah, they're going to be there. You're going to have to deal with them one way or another. So, but maybe before when the real bracket comes out, we can get back on again, and maybe I can make another real prediction based on what the actual numbers are.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Georgia, Alabama, Notre Dame, Ohio State. It feels like those 4 are just going to be in it every year.
Every year.
But based on your what you just said, I mean, what do you make of Indiana? Right? I mean, it's just been such a quick turnaround for a team, for a program that has just been a perennial doormat.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they've had a couple of decent years here and there. But otherwise, it's just they've been a perennial doormat in the Big Ten. So what do you make of Indiana?
Indiana is why coaches across college football are getting fired left and right. That's why, because nobody wants to hear your bullshit anymore, right? Yeah. Nobody
yes.
cares. Go win, right? I don't care about all your complaining, your portal this, and you didn't have the NIL, whatever. Go win, right? And so I think Cignetti, in a lot of ways, has been. It's been cool kind of to watch him from far and see what he's done, even back, was it James Madison or wherever he was?
Yep.
Proving that he's been a winner, like he said, Google me, right? So bringing that same energy and mindset, it just shows you there's certain people that are different, in this sport. And he's one of those guys that's different. I don't necessarily know. And again, I'm like a broken record. But managing a program, managing the portal, managing coaches, I think he brought a lot of the same coaches that he's had with him, have been with him for years, right?
Yes.
Developing systems and play styles that are signature to him, and then also working the portal really well, and having your team that buys in, right? And that's the thing that I think that people don't realize how hard it is. That's why you can have a team like Florida or one of the great talent all over the field, but they don't buy in. They look like a mess on the field, right? At different times. That happens to people, different. Miami, that's happened to them over the years. And that's one of the things that I really respect about, it's always going to come back to Ohio State. One of the things I really respect about Ryan Day at Ohio State is that even in the times when there's turmoil or we lost the teams that we shouldn't have, or we didn't beat the team up north, he has kept that program together. We have not had that season where it's like Clemson. Look at Clemson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like people don't. Dabo was a legend in the college football 5 years ago.
Ugh.
Talking about Dabo as like, oh my God. And now look at him now. He can barely get 4 wins in a season. So it's like, it's crazy how things can crumble. But I think Indiana is real. I think that they have legitimate talent and legitimate leadership. I think where Indiana's the type of team that if you don't control them early, it can get ugly quick because they have their style of offense. They want to just pile on points. Where I think Indiana falls short, particularly as it relates to Ohio State, because they're 1-2, is depth, right? So I don't think they have I think their starters can compete with everyone in the country. Excuse me, but I don't think they have the depth to compete with Ohio State for 60 minutes. So I think it could be close early, but by the time the third and fourth quarter roll around, I think you can get rough for them. So that's my analysis, but we'll see, man. I hope we see it in the Big Ten championship game. I think that would be super exciting for college football as a whole. But I do want to shut their fans up. Some of their fans up. They're getting a little annoying.
Listen, man, I was just gonna say this. I loved the Kurt Cignetti hire when they brought him in. I love the swagger. Like Indiana never had a swagger about their football team. All right, there's a little swagger there. I'm now at a point where I want him to shut up.
Yes.
Because you haven't won shit.
Yes.
Kurt Cignetti. Yeah. But he talks like he's won everything.
Yeah.
You've won nothing. You've won nothing.
Yeah.
I know you've won games, but you've never won a game that matters. You've won nothing.
100%. And I think that it's a good story for college football, and even his personality. It's almost like wrestling, right? It's almost like WWE. He's like a character, right?
Let's go.
When I evaluate him that way, I just look at him as a character. I don't even take him serious. Anything he's saying, I don't even know if he believes the stuff that he's saying, or if he's just playing a role that he knows kind of works for him and works for the psyche of his team and stuff like that, and makes them exciting. And I think as his style, it's not just that they're winning, but I think that style also attracts recruits, right? I think it's people want to be a part of this bravado thing. But ultimately, the reality is, and we know this better than anybody, you're going to have to win at some point, right? It's cool and it's cute and it's fun, but when you get battle tested, you're going to have to win. And that's what Dan Lanning went through at Oregon. I don't like him particularly. I think he thinks he's the man and whatever, but he got humbled real quick last year, and it's like, you want to talk like you're one of the blue bloods. You're not, Oregon. You're not a blue blood. So if you want to, if you want to be in that conversation and consider that way, you got to eventually go out and win. Otherwise, it's cool. It's a cute story. You got great uniforms. You can get all the 5-star players you want to get, but you're going to have to go win. So this playoffs, I haven't been as excited for, just the postseason of anything, probably as much as I am for this one now. So many storylines. And then obviously being an Ohio State fan, let's carry on the top, man. We can go back to back with basically two different teams. That is just your program is just solidified. Not that we need that anyway, but it's just, imagine if we go back to back and it's really two different teams, two different quarterbacks, two different offensive coordinators, two different defensive coordinators. It's bro, what? That is
and then you're running a lot of it back again next year.
Yes,
what?
Exactly. That is a fan's dream. And then you're killing it in the recruiting rankings now all of a sudden. You're flipping dudes left and right. It's we are potentially witnessing a dynasty. That is what we might be in the middle of right now. And it's just I'm pinching myself every day because it's just as a fan, you're just so blessed to ever have that. There are lots of people who are, fans of teams. They'll never, ever know what that feels like. So I wake up every day blessed to be a Buckeye.
As we get ready, this is how we'll end it. As we get ready, I want to know this from both of you guys, and I'll lead it off. You looked at the rankings there. Obviously, that's going to change. There's going to be teams that were in those rankings that are not going to make the playoff, and there are going to be other teams that do make the playoff. However, I want to know, as you look at the general landscape, not just those things. Here's my opinion. I think the Ohio State Buckeyes are at least a 2-touchdown favorite over the next best team. I think I don't care who you think the next best team is. I don't care if you think it's Indiana or Alabama or A&M or Georgia or Texas Tech or whatever. I think Ohio State's a 2-touchdown favorite over any of them, and I think they should be. I don't think there's any reason to think there is a team in college football that can take down the Ohio State Buckeyes. I think they're generationally good. And I'm telling you this as somebody who will actively root for one of those other teams against Ohio State. I am an Ohio State guy, born and raised in Cleveland. I love Ohio State, but my alma mater's on that list.
Yeah.
And I will actively root for the other team
Yeah.
and I don't think they'll do it. I will say this. So here's what I want to know from you guys. I'll kick it off. I honestly do think A&M is the biggest threat to Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are defensively good. I know everybody will be like, oh, look at the points they give up to Arkansas. Everybody gives up points to Arkansas. It's a high-powered, crazy offense that can't stop anybody. Mm-hmm. So A&M beat Arkansas the same way everybody else has. Mm-hmm. They had the hard-fought win in Notre Dame. They're rolling through their schedule, which, again, I don't want to be the SEC. I hate the SEC fan.
Yeah.
I've always hated that.
Right.
When I went to A&M, we were in the Big 12. We also hated the SEC fans then.
Yeah.
But I think it's the second best wide receiver room in the country. I think you have wild wide receivers at A&M. Mm-hmm. I think you've got a quarterback at A&M that should be talked about. I don't know why he's not talked about more highly than he is. Yeah. The guy should be on the front runner Heisman thing with saying. Mm-hmm. And you've got a defense that has come to play this year. I think Texas A&M, and I'm gonna hold it up again. I think Texas A&M, man, is the biggest threat to Ohio State. Who do you guys think is the biggest threat to Ohio State?
Does that helmet fit you?
No, I don't know. I know it doesn't fit you in your big ass head.
I think the biggest threat to Ohio State is probably Alabama. And I say that saying that just because you asked me for a threat, not because and again, respectfully, right? Because we understand in a one game scenario, in a playoff environment, anything can happen, right? And someone gets hurt and all this, you know what I mean?
So wakes up with the flu.
100%. Anything can go down, you know. So I'm trying to also make sure that I'm trying to be measured, you know, because it's just so rare. It's very rare to see a team just go wire to wire, you know, just look like how Ohio State looks all the way through, and especially now all the way through an extended playoff. It's very rare to see that happen, right? So it's hard, but I'm trying to be measured. But if I was just looking at one game scenarios and I was handicapping the game or whatever, or trying to figure out, like, there's nobody I think is a legit threat. Now, obviously, Marcel Reed is a super dynamic. When you have a dynamic quarterback, you know, like that, and the talented receivers, like you said, you know, you're always going to be a threat to somebody. And but when I look at, and this is like Washington is like Texas A&M light, right? They're like the Diet Coke version of
super light, just overly light.
Texas A&M,
just very light.
But the reason why I mentioned that game, that type of offense, because they have stud receiver, stud running back, very talented quarterback, and I think that the style I think we would use some of that defensive game plan against Texas A&M, and I think that I've seen how that game can go. Basically, if Marcel can make some mistakes, you know what I mean. So we get him, you know, not Arvell re-spying him. You know, it could be if our defensive line is getting home, that game could get ugly quick. So I think that they could be a threat, but I think that's a game that also could get ugly pretty fast. Just depending. And I don't know if Marcel, I would love to see him. I would love to see that matchup, honestly. I just want to point out 3 killer wide receivers. Killer wide receivers. Okay, fair enough.
So don't Washington me. Don't you Washington.
That's why I said super light Diet Coke, like the lightest with freaking Splenda. But
just the Splenda-ist matchup.
but I think Alabama is always a threat, man. They're playing. I think if you take out the Florida State game, which we don't do as Ohio State fans, because no, you got to eat that. Like, just you guys have made us eat Virginia Tech and all the losses that so you got to eat it. I think that they're playing really good football. I think they're playing inspired football. I think they're well coached. I think that loss was probably good for them. So they're going to be a threat. But Ohio State is the best team in college football right now. And, you know, I'm not looking. Last year, I felt, you know what's interesting? Going into last year's playoffs, I felt pretty much the same way I feel now. There was no team that I felt like was gonna beat us. You know?
Yeah.
I just felt like we were head and shoulders better than everyone. The Texas game was the game that worried me the most, and not because I thought we were going to lose, but just all the things, you know, after you get that huge win against Oregon, you know, and maybe just the emotional kind of, you know, leveling, and then the fact that it was in Texas, like that worried me. But other than that, I felt like we were the best, and that's kind of how I feel this year. And it's kind of feels weird to say that because I'm like, God, I know how college football can go. Like, Mecca, are you even accounting for the bullshit that can happen? And I'm trying, but I just don't see it.
You're 100% right. And I also want to give it one last shout out to one of my Aggies, and then I'm going to throw it to Chad for a minute. There's a kid that plays for Texas A&M that is killing it. His name's Cassius Howell. He's a defensive end, 10.5 sacks on the year. He's a game breaker. He's the only guy I know that followed the same college path as I did. He started at Bowling Green. I went to Bowling Green.
Wow.
Went to Texas A&M. I went to Texas A&M. Bowling Green and an Aggie. Cassius Howell, man. Sign that guy up for the Browns. Sign him up for the Browns. Chad, who's the biggest threat to Ohio State?
Shut up, Mike. The biggest threat to the Ohio State Buckeyes.
He's going to say Michigan.
Mecca, you said you wanted to be measured.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be measured. The biggest threat to the Ohio State Buckeyes is themselves.
Fair enough.
The Ohio State Buckeyes, throughout this entire year, haven't even been playing. Haven't even turned it up at all. They haven't had to. They haven't had to.
Nope.
And when it comes time to turn it up, yeah, sure. It's got to be a controlled chaos, right? Because you don't want to get too big into the emotions of the game, because that's when you start to lose games. That's when you start to turn the ball over. That's when you start to make mistakes.
Yep.
You bring that this Ohio State team with all the talent that they have, when they're playing at a level 10, which is what they're going to, coming into the playoffs, they can't be stopped. You know, Marcel Reed, KC Concepcion, take a walk.
Shut up.
Cassius Howell.
Yes, you guys this. I actually don't know the answer to this. As far as how the SEC championship is, like the road to the SEC championship right now, what is that looking like? Who has the inside track? And
I think they got rid of the division. I think it would just be A&M and Bama, I think.
Oh, I see. Okay. So just the top two teams?
Yes.
All right. So if does either one of them have a tough game? Does A&M plays Texas, right?
A&M plays Texas at Texas.
Okay. That's
last game of the year. So A&M finishes with South Carolina this week at A&M. So that should be a win. And then they get the patented SEC bye week at the end of the year where they play Samford from Connecticut. Samford. And then they go to Texas.
Okay. Bama plays Oklahoma this week.
Okay.
At home. And then they're probably going to lose to Eastern Illinois, and then they have to play the Iron Bowl.
Okay. And then Ole Miss still has a shot too, right? Ole Miss
Auburn sucks.
What's Ole Miss have to do?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss
is easy. They finish at home at Florida, and then it's the Egg Bowl.
Okay. But I think Ole Miss. I think even if A&M or Bama lost a game, they still make it in over Ole Miss.
Oh, because Bama lost out of conference, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And A&M's undefeated, so.
Right, I see. Okay. So Ole Miss, there's a lot to happen for them to get in.
I love Chad's point, though, and I agree with it. Ultimately, I agree with it. Ohio State, biggest threat to them is themselves, and allowing themselves to have a letdown. They got kicked in the teeth by Michigan last year, and they allowed it to propel them into one of the most dominant playoff performances you will ever see. And that will last forever and eternity. What they did to Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, and Notre Dame, not many teams are going to have a run the way that they had a run, just dominating the best teams in the country the way they did.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's no impending kick in the teeth.
Yeah.
So the Buckeyes are going to have to do it without the kick in the teeth. But, man, we're here. We're getting towards the end of the season. And Mekka Don, man, this has been awesome. An hour and 40 minutes. I thought we were going to keep you on for like 45 minutes.
Right.
An hour and 40 minutes. But then you got into the Browns, and we had to talk Browns with you and all that. And I can't even let you go the way that Chef Brian K did in the comments, where he said, I expected you, Mekka, to be very good being a lawyer, an actor, an entertainer, but I'm still impressed beyond my expectations. Thanks, Mekka. And then he threw us in at the end because we know it was just for Mekka, and that's okay.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I enjoyed it, man. I had a great conversation with you guys. Trust me, I didn't expect to be on this long. But,
Yeah,
Hey,
I know.
time flies when you're having fun,
it
man.
does. It does. It's all good. I appreciate you guys. You guys do a great job, and it's fun, man. So hopefully we'll do it again maybe a couple weeks in December sometime before the playoffs, and maybe we'll see Shador by then too.
Let's do it again when the final bracket comes out. Let's do it again when the final bracket comes out.
No matter what, even if we have another guest for that show, I think we need to do like a 20-minute Mecca hit for
100%.
the bracket preview.
100%. I'm down. Just let me know.
All right, Mekka Don, you are awesome. Go follow Mekka Don. Go be a part of his fan page for everything he's got going on. Check out his book. You can get to the book in his link in his bio, Mekka Don Music on Twitter. Great book. I love that you got Gene Smith to do the forward for you.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. But my man is doing all the biggest things, and then he hangs out with us, a couple of scrubs every year, and we appreciate that out of you. Mekka, you're the best. Appreciate you. Go have a good rest of your night, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. I appreciate it.
I almost feel bad. That was amazing. He's the best. I don't know. He's the best. He's the best guy.
Hey,
he's
listen.
the best guy.
You know what the best part? Well, one of the best parts about that is we don't have to talk Browns now. That's cool.
Hell yeah. You know what I find? you know what I find? I can't remember. What was I doing this for the other day? I don't remember what it was. Oh, I was listening to Spittin' Chicklets.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to Biz and the way he talked. And I thought, God damn it. I, as a 40-year-old man, have no business thinking another grown-ass adult man is, like, so cool. But every time I listen to Biz talk, I'm like, fuck, this guy is the coolest. I don't even remember what it was. I wish I had the quote. Because Biz talked about doing, like, a suicide.
Uh-huh.
Like where you mix all the soft drinks at like the soda machine.
Yeah.
But he called it like the something liquid mix or something. And it was the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel that way when we talk to Mecca. I'm like, fuck, this guy's the coolest.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't feel that way.
There's a big difference between Canadian slang and like Mecca being the coolest.
I don't know. I shouldn't feel that way, but he's a cool dude and he hangs out with us. And God darn it, I love him. Chef Brian K says, I just told my wife it's the best garage beers I've ever seen, and that's a high bar.
Let's go.
You're the coolest.
Let's go.
We also, did he? You know what? I'm going to put it up, Diddy. I'm going to put it up. I'm going to let it happen because you got the Ohio State logo there.
Okay.
Diddy's excited. So
soaked. He's soaking. He's soaked.
Chad, man, I don't know that we have much more to do. I do want to get to
Greg Sankey's my asshole of the week.
I want to do asshole and tears of the week, and let's get out of here.
Yeah, sure.
We'll just put them together and get out of here.
Yeah.
So first, hook me up. Go ahead with your asshole of the week.
Yeah, Greg Sankey's my asshole of the week. 8 teams. You think the playoff the SEC has an 8-bid conference? Go fuck yourself. You're pushing it. You're really pushing it with Missouri and Tennessee and Vandy. Sorry, okay. They're. I mean, again, this is the best part about the playoff is because we're talking about these fringe teams.
Yes.
No, right? I'm sorry. Like the Illinois of the world, the Iowas of the world, it can very much compete with those type of teams. So,
yes.
Yeah, no, you're go fuck yourself. The SEC 8-bid. Get out of here.
Nonsense.
And that's tampering, by the way. If you're talking to the committee about this,
it's nonsense. That's the SEC shit that bothers. Like for me, as a guy that didn't come up in the SEC, I fucking hate the SEC. The exceptionalism.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Like Vandy had a nice moment.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah. It's over. Great. It's over. Yeah. Get out of here. Yeah. Get out of here. My asshole of the week. I gotta just pick baseball, man. My asshole of the week is currently baseball.
Okay.
And here's why. And it's for 2 reasons. One, we're now at the part of the year. I feel like we just got to the end of the show and now it's just bot city. Like Chef Brian K's over here talking about making French bread, and then like there's weird shit. Yeah. Shrek goes, I know you guys see my comments. Yeah, we do. They're weird though, and I'm not gonna like put them up, you weirdo.
I don't know. I stay on full screen.
Oh my God. It's a whole bot thing. It's like, I don't know. There's a bunch of 12-year-olds in the comments now. Chef Brian K, you're in a safe place, Brian K. You're in a safe place. Here's my asshole of the week. It's baseball. And it's two reasons. One, we're now at the point in time where people are coming up with scenarios of what's going to happen with free agents and where's this guy going to sign and where's that guy going to sign, and all of it. That's our buddy Mike Todd. Mike Todd's calling out the bots, but that is the Mike Todd. That is the Mike Todd, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna from Blue Jackets, Mike Todd. I hate when we get to this point because I love the Guardians. I love what they've accomplished. I mean, shout out to Stephen Vogt for being manager of the year. That should be an alternate cheers of the week. He definitely deserves it. But this sucks when we get to this part of the year and it's like, hey, we were an ALCS team. We were an ALCS team 2 years ago. We won the division last year, and they're not going to bring anybody in. There's nothing like all these players that are like, where's this guy going to go? Where's Alex Bregman going to go? Where's whatever? Where's JT Real Muto? I'm like, God, we could use JT Real Muto. That'd be great to have him here. No, it's not going to happen.
We could use a bunch of these guys, but it's just not going to happen. Yeah.
So that number one sucks ass. And then number two, did you read the shit about Clase and Ortiz?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, that goes into baseball being the asshole of the week, but I mean, like, they are specifically the assholes of the week, and they've already been it on this show, but they're it again. Those dudes threw away their careers. Like Emmanuel Clase was on like Hall of Fame trajectory.
Yeah.
And he threw it away for $13,000.
And lives. Not careers, lives.
Yeah. Oh God. We're talking about jail. Like legit.
Yeah.
Count me in the ass prison time.
Oh God.
Like Office Space. Federal pound me in the ass prison.
I totally forgot about this.
Oh, I didn't just come up with that out of nowhere, Chad.
No.
You asshole.
Oh shit.
I don't know. Baseball's been depressing this week. And I wish we could come off a year like we did with the Guardians and be like, cool, they added this, and this, and now we're really in a spot to contend. We're just not going to do it. And that fucking sucks.
Unless you're the Cavs, we can't have nice things.
It sucks. So that's my asshole of the week. Chad, give me a 30-second. Let's do a 30-second Cavs and Blue Jackets catch up.
30 seconds, sure.
So let's go to the Blue Jackets real quick. They went on their West Coast Canadian trip, which they always suck at. They were super sucky on this one until they got to Seattle, and that was kind of fun. A fun way to end the trip. But, like, woo, did they suck in Calgary and Edmonton and Vancouver and terrible.
Calgary,
that Edmonton loss was the worst.
Calgary, they got their dicks kicked in. Like it wasn't there, right? Like the effort wasn't there, the legs weren't there, they weren't doing the things that they needed to do to stay in that hockey game. Edmonton, they played terrific hockey for 2 periods. They played terrific. Yeah, pretty much. And I talked about it in my recap. If there's one thing you can't do, Edmonton was missing key pieces. They were missing Zach Hyman. They were missing Nugent Hopkins. They were missing the key pieces to their offense. But you cannot give Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl time and space to work with. And for 2.5 periods, they didn't do that. Right? You make the other lines beat you. But Connor McDavid, with about 10 minutes to go in the third period, took over. And that's why they lost the game. Right? And then you make the costly turnover and give up the shorthanded goal to lose that game. Blech, sucks. Vancouver, they played well enough to win. A couple of chintzy fucking calls that really cost them that game. I mean, it directly resulted in the goals that they just but then they finished the road trip out the right way in Seattle, and they went in a shootout, that grinded out game. A Kraken team that has actually started out the year pretty good, that nobody expected anything from. But yeah, they finished the trip the right way. Fantilli, what a goal to stick with that after hitting the post like that. And then Coyle goes bar down to win it. in the shootout. And yeah, the Jackets, they could use some home cooking because Western Canada, Seattle, it's a place they don't play well at all. So
when Jet is in net, I feel much more comfortable.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I love the way that guy plays goalie.
Yeah.
And yeah, all right. You lost the game in Edmonton, but you still took a point out of it. And you got your couple points in Seattle.
Yeah.
And you got your doors blown off in Calgary, and that's fine. That happens. And you lost in Vancouver, and that's fine. That happened. It felt disastrous, but it wasn't. It was just a tough part of the schedule, a tough road trip. And you went out there and you got a few points out of it, and then you come home. And who's their next game is against Edmonton at home, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Well, make them pay for it. God damn it.
Yeah,
make them pay for it.
Edmonton's not playing their best hockey at all right now, especially not even that healthy. So it's
what pissed me off about that game though too was they're not playing very well, and then you just let them come back and get that.
Right.
But
but
you know what? You went out. That's one of the tougher parts of the entire schedule. You went out. You dealt with it. Now it's time to move on. Put it in the past and move on. I still love the way that I love the way that they play. I just wish they wouldn't have the 5-minute lapses. Feels like every game they have a 5-minute lapse where they all play like morons.
Yeah.
All of them. It's like the Men in Black memory eraser.
Yeah.
Somebody hits them with it, and it's 5 minutes, and they just forget how to play hockey.
And they seem to, and it seems to happen at the most critical times too. So,
and literally the other 55 minutes, they play fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just get your shit together. Play a complete game of hockey. I think the Blue Jackets are still in great shape.
Yeah.
Go to the other side of things, and I got to tell you, man, I'm going to make a video on it as soon as we're done with this. But the Cavaliers had one of my favorite wins of the season, of any season, to be honest with you, tonight.
Nice.
They went down to Miami. The Cavs had been playing better. They were 7-3. They went down to Miami, and they played a sloppy basketball game against Miami. A lot of turnovers, a lot of second chances for Miami. Cavs fell behind, way behind. They came back. They tied the game. They got it to overtime. And then at the very end of overtime, they had the most mental lapse of all mental. Oh, no, it wasn't overtime. They were about to go to overtime. Donovan Mitchell hit one of the wildest three-pointers of all time to tie the game with 0.4 seconds on the clock. And they come out of the timeout, and somebody loses Andrew Wiggins, and he just has the most open alley-oop dunk of all time to win the game for Miami the other night. Tonight, the Cavaliers sat Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and they went down to Miami, back-to-back games in Miami, and they beat them 130-116. In a game where they just decided they were going to out-tough and out-hustle the Heat. Jared Allen goes for 30 in this game. 30 points, 10 rebounds. DeAndre Hunter, 21 points. Lonzo Ball, 15 points, 8 assists, one of his best outings. Craig Porter Jr. and Tyrese Proctor off the bench were unbelievable. And the guy you thought was going to kind of carry the team was Sam Merrill, was really bad in this game. 1 for 10 from 3. And it didn't matter. They out-physicaled, they out-hustled, they out-muscled the Miami Heat, and they got a win. The Cavaliers, I don't mind that early in the season they're going to go through a couple of growing pains, because didn't we freaking learn anything last year? They were like 15-0 to start the year. This doesn't matter right now other than what are we learning from it?
Yeah.
They didn't really learn a lot from 15-0 or 15-1 or whatever the hell it was last year. This year, they've got stuff to learn from. And they've got stuff that's going to pull them together as a team. And they still aren't healthy. And I'm nothing but excited for the Cavs. So I like the way they've started. Again, even though it has felt like they haven't been great, they're still 8-4. They're fine. They're still gonna be the top seed or one of the top seeds in the East, and they're the team. I think they're the team to beat, and I think this start makes me feel like that way even more.
Sure, yeah. I mean, if you, I would love it if If you got to lose a few more games here and there as you go throughout the season, great. I mean, nothing brings a team together like adversity, especially when you're going through a long season. And the Cavs didn't face enough of it last year. So if you got to lose a few more games and end up with 55 wins, right? Like last year, fine. I'm totally okay with that.
They
Because
won 64 last year.
Yeah.
I'll take 55 to 58 and
Yeah.
having to fight through some adversity any day.
For sure.
So anyways, feel good about it. All right, let's get to our cheers of the week. Chad, I'm going to start with mine. Mine is a video.
Okay.
And I have found, and the Browns have found one of my favorite video creators on the planet. His name is Drew Allen, and he makes videos on TikTok. And I'm going to play this whole damn video because he's kind of become associated with the Cleveland Browns. I don't even know where this kid is from, but he's so associated with the Cleveland Browns that they quote him in their TikTok bio. So I'm going to play this video of Drew Allen. This is my cheer of the week because this guy is the best.
The New York Jets, and we're the Cleveland Browns. The only way we win today is if we play a team that is somehow more incompetent than us. And we're the Cleveland Browns. I know, you are. Are you more incompetent than us? No, our name isn't more incompetent than us. We're the Cleveland Browns. See, you said no, but I'm going to take that as a yes. Oh, okay. We punt. Dylan Gabriel throws to David Njoku for a touchdown. Kene Nwangwu returns the follow-up kickoff for a 99-yard touchdown. Cool. We punt. Isaiah Williams returns that punt 74 yards to the crib. That makes punting not fun. Nothing makes punting not fun. We punt. Justin Fields is intercepted by Ronnie Hickman, and Gabriel throws 22 yards to Jerry Jeudy in the end zone. We kick a field goal to go back ahead. We punt. We kick a field goal to tie it before halftime. It may be tied up at half, but don't be getting any ideas. We are winning this game. We are winning this game? No, you aren't. We are. We are? No, not we. I mean, yes, I did say we, but clearly you don't know who we is. We're the Cleveland Browns. I know you are. We punt. We punt again, and so do you. Punts. Brees hauls it 42 yards into the end zone. And we punt. No, you don't. You turn over on downs. Oh, we don't punt. We add to our lead with a field goal. We kick a field goal, too. We maintain possession to burn down the clock, and we win the game. We win the game? No. That's what you said. No, I said we win the game. That's what I said. You have trouble understanding who we is. I understand who we are. I really don't think you do. We're the Cleveland Browns. I know you are.
I love that guy. Drew, he
great.
makes a video after every Browns game. And so now in the Browns bio on TikTok, it just says, we are the Cleveland Browns.
That's awesome.
He's hilarious. He's my cheer of the week. It takes a lot to make me smile after when I watch the fucking abomination in the Meadowlands or at MetLife or whatever we're calling it. But that guy, he kills it every time. So he's my cheer of the week. Chad,
The Meadowlife lands.
Sure.
Yeah, my cheers of the week goes to Bernie Kosar,
Yes.
quarterback. Just apparently serious health issues going on. He needs a liver transplant. I mean, that's no secret. And he had he called aggressive procedures today to stop internal bleeding. So just cheers to you, Bernie, and for all the luck and all the good health and all the best, bud.
Yeah, there isn't a person in Cleveland that feels any different than that. And I love that you brought that up because if you didn't, that was going to be my follow-up end of the show cheer of the week. So big shout out to Bernie Kosar, just legendary guy. And man, oh man, do I hope he gets the help and the medicine and the healing that he needs. Because we would love for Bernie to stick around for a lot more years. Lot more years.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Listen. Sean. Come on, Sean. In the comments says, cheers to Mekka for sticking around. We did. We held him hostage, I think. Cheers to Mekka for staying late and having a great discussion. Yeah, he did. And yes, we did. And it was a good time. I did not realize Mekka was going to go off on the Browns. That was amazing.
Yeah. And he's not wrong, by the way.
No. And we didn't have to talk about it then. It was great.
No.
It was awesome. But no, Mekka was great. So shout out to Mekka as well. All right, let's get out of here. Episode 289, 2 hours of episode 289, but it was a great 2 hours. Last order of business for us are our thank yous. We always give a thank you to the OBR for hosting us again. They are Cleveland's biggest, oldest Cleveland Browns independent coverage site, but then they like us so much that they let us come do garage beers on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. And we talk about the Blue Jackets and the Cavs and the Guardians and the Buckeyes and the Browns. We talk about our favorite teams. And so we really appreciate them for letting us do that. Go to theobr.com, subscribe, and make sure whether you're watching us on the YouTube, Twitch, wherever, you hit follow, you hit subscribe. We appreciate you for doing that. Next, thank you. How about Mekka Don? Go follow at Mekka Don Music, man. He's doing everything big, man. You go to an Ohio State Buckeyes game and he plays his song coming out, and it gets the place going. He's got his book. Go check that out. It's in his Twitter bio. Again, a documentary, music. He's a lawyer. He's an entrepreneur. He does like motivational stuff. Dude is Mr. Do Everything. And he's also just great at talking football and sports. So big shout out to Mekka Don for coming on with us. Again, keep an eye out for him in a few weeks when the final playoff bracket comes out. We're going to get him back on here to do that again, because he's got to prove that last year wasn't a fluke. Last thank you goes out to all of you, whether you're joining us live tonight. The comments were great. Chef Brian K., MVP of the night. Not to take anything away from everybody else, but really good time with all of you guys. If you can't catch us live, remember you can always catch us YouTube, Twitch, on demand, or wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, all that. But you guys get the biggest cheer of the week because you guys are the best. Again, slight programming note, and I said this if you were with us on Inside the Browns Beat earlier tonight, I'm going to give it to you here at the end of tonight. We will be live next week. We will not be live the week of Thanksgiving, and you might as well just mark that down for Christmas and New Year's as well. It's just not great timing for us to do a show the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving and then Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. Everybody's doing other stuff. So know that we will bring you brand new content those weeks. They just won't be live. We will post things to YouTube, Twitch, all of that, podcast hosts. So we'll have new episodes those weeks. They just won't be live. We just want you to expect that. We'll probably put them out. I mean, frankly, we might put them out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning of those weeks and just let you guys consume them as you see fit. So just want to make sure you know that coming up. But again, we will be live next week for episode 290. So make sure you tune in for that. That's going to do it for this week. Joey wasn't here, but follow him anyways at Garage Beers Joe. Follow Chad at Garage Beers Chad. I'm Michael Keefe at Garage Beers Mike. Go follow the show at The Garage Beers on all the socials. And we will see you next week for the next episode. Until then, as always, cheers, everybody.